Oh, you're
So
right. You're right. Yeah.
Rudy should be able to get the wall here, but he doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. They just want to take garage first again.
So I think now they're leaving the garage guy by himself here this round. So that's a huge pick going in favor of FPL Queens. 2 huge picks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
3 huge
That's a
picks.
clean
Yeah,
garage take.
Just taking round. The more impressive thing is I don't think Rudy even opened the wall, so they're just doing this with the wall closed still.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
now what goes back to, like you said, it's kind of goes to error of positioning for one shot. Oh no.
Nice.
What are they doing?
Nice,
What is
It's a
this?
2v1 now.
Huh? They could have slowed down, gone back
Yeah,
out,
they're
got the
going way too-
wall.
Just get the wall.
I
They're
think
like-
that's an inexperienced thing for some teams. Is I mean, even some pro teams is you get those leads, you get those round kills, and then you try to force something when it doesn't need to be forced just yet, or you need to know when to force.
Certainly.
Oh. Good C4.
Very good C4. Because you literally had Sophia at the bottom of the staircase. You could just like Sophia it up to the floor, get the charge. Oh. So many options.
Storm's finally
Huge play
hitting some
from
shots.
Storm's brought that round back completely by himself. That should have been a one
that was
round.
just a. I mean,
FPL Queen round.
that's just a very confusing round, honestly. FPL Queens got a 5v2,
Yeah.
and then one player gets down in garage. That's okay. So instead of just going Rafter, getting the bandits off the wall, they just try to run up red. Like, if they get garage control for Rafter, get the wall open, that's virtually an impossible round to lose. But for some reason, they just sprint up red.
I don't think they knew he was red. They definitely knew the one guy was in basement, and I think they just figured the other guy was cash and not holding it. I mean, huge play from Storms nonetheless. Like, that was a fantastic round.
I always say, like, if you're in a 5v2 or something like that, like, that's a round you should never lose. So rather than, like, unnecessarily push site or, you know, just make
Go for the
play
trade game.
Well, you just literally somebody get on a drone, find the 2 players or one if you already know the position of the other, and then come up with a plan once you know the positions. Like, you shouldn't assume anything in a 5v2 because that's a round you should always close out. So if you make the mistake of assuming this guy's here and he's not there, and you don't check and you don't drone, you don't come up with a plan, I mean, that's how you lose 5v2s. That should be a 100% win rate round, and they just throw it away really for no reason, just because they wanted to try to go fast.
It should. We have a call out in G2 that's called Hamburger, and basically in that 5v2, you would hear me or Fabian scream, Hamburger, Hamburger, Hamburger! Well, just stop fucking moving, take a second, hold an angle, and let's figure out how to close out the round. Because if you just act off the adrenaline, like, oh, let's fucking rush up the staircase and kill this guy top red, and then, like, it doesn't work out, you look like a fool, right? Losing a 5v2.
100%.
Is that like a
we do,
fat American joke? Why
We
you
do
call
the
it
same
hamburger?
thing. We just say reset, but yeah, we have virtually the same thing.
I
Yeah.
gotta know the context behind hamburger.
Because it's easy to get all that adrenaline going that you just want to end the round. You just want to
Yeah,
finish
you're
it.
feeling
And,
it, you're hitting
like,
shots, you got 3 opening kills in like
it,
20
you know,
seconds.
it works sometimes, but then the times that it doesn't, it really ruins a team's mental because you
Yeah.
should have had that round.
That was your round. And now that's your last round of the half as well. And now you're going to side swap, you know, down to 4 instead of going 3-3.
And you can't downplay, like, Storms made an impressive plays from that, just holding the top red, getting those 2 picks. Then I don't know how Rudy got down. I think he might have got down to the guy basement.
He must have been,
But
yeah.
still, like,
traded.
he still played it extremely well, nonetheless.
He
You
did.
can't take that away from Storms.
I mean, great C4, understanding that instead of swinging
Yeah.
greedily for the injure 50-50, he plays a C4 angle,
100%.
finishes it off, takes the 1v1. Definitely.
Yep. Agreed.
Bonk, bonk.
And that's stuff I like to see just from up and coming talent too, is, you know, those split second decisions, like, that's what really defines good players from average players, is your decision making.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
A
it's
lot of people don't realize that. Like, people think it's aim, and, you know, mechanics, like, those are just half of it. But, like, what really to me sticks out good players from average players is your split second decision making.
I love watching players in 2v1s, like watching the 2 people together, because you can tell if they have the communication or synergy based on how they play the 2v1. A 2v1 situation, if you position yourself adequately as a defender, should basically never be lost on the defending side. But you see defenders play halfway across the map from each other, like, guys, what are we doing here? So that decision making, taking the range, saying, guys, you're gonna play in this area, I'm gonna crossfire, and when I shoot, you peek. So that way there's a contact, and then other guy has to hit like a nasty flick to have a chance to win.
Yeah, a lot of people have good aim, but especially in Siege, it's a tactical FPS for a reason. There's way more that goes into it to be a good
So
player.
again, they get it the first pick. I think is huge. I don't think there's a reason to be going for this flank. I mean, it might work out, but well, that's another pick.
I honestly don't really mind it because this Mira is aced and they already have kitchen hatch open, so I don't actually think it's a bad idea to like apply pressure here if he plays it correctly and doesn't over aggress.
So
One
of them.
I think Barring dies on the flank, but maybe they don't know Twist is there.
Any reason to bring Ace now after the nerfs?
The
No.
round's just falling back.
Ace is
Yeah,
only
Twist is gonna
nice
win this round, I think.
against Mira because it's a faster explosion than Hibana, and it's easier to work with, right?
Good play
So
by
that's
Slash. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
slash.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I do get the flank. It's just then when you got that second kill on the board, then now it's a 5v3 and you're still on flank. Like I would have just ran back if that would have been me, just to like help the team on site.
Yeah, I think the thing that I disliked there was like, so they had the 5v3 and Barring, I think it was Barring, was also flanking. You don't need two people flanking there. Like let Twist flank. He got the kill in blue. Let him run up and apply whatever.
I wouldn't bring Ace personally. Ace is nice because of the good gun, which is not a reason to bring him. He doesn't have projectiles or throwables. Hibana has flashbangs. Ace is nicer against the Mira, arguably, but not really. And it shouldn't be a defining factor because the jammers, the bandit charges will make the difference anyway. I would play Hibana Thermite any day of the week in this setup. Unless, if basement is locked, aka defenders wins basement, like we just saw now, I would actually play Thermite Ace instead. Hibana needs to be brought every single round with the possibility of a basement attack. However, when you lose a basement attack and it's locked for 2 rounds, you should not bring Hibana again, in my opinion. I do think you get more value from Ace and Thermite, especially against the Bandit, because if you throw, let's say you play Kali, or you throw a grenade, if you throw 2 Selma charges, 1 on each wall, Bandit cannot trick them both, because of the animation being faster than Bandit. So, you can actually circumvent the Bandit with ease, relative ease, by bringing the Ace instead of the Hibana. So you can Thermite 1 garage wall, spend 2 Selmas here, you get guaranteed 1 hole, then Bandit can't juggle, then you can either Thermite the wall again, or you can use the last Selma charge. You get less explosive destruction, especially if you not go master bedroom side and can connect the wall, but your value to circumvent the Bandit, which is like the name of the game because Thatcher's band and Mavericks band, gets easier. And when the sides were flipped oppositely, FPL's queens were struggling with the Bandit, right? They didn't really have proper ways of dealing with it, so.
Well, yeah, that's just, I mean, interesting that the Bandit is going to be first picked by the Hibana, obviously. Maybe not the, obviously they're using Bandit in a different way than we saw Storms using it. And Rudy's going to die too, so this is spiraling a little bit now for...
So went into what I just.
So you see, look at one shot. They're dealing with the Bandit somewhat. I mean, he's dead now, but they could have broken the floor. Then you could have stunned it because there's 2 stuns left, and they could have breached the wall. But it already got done, so no need, right?
Yeah, they're just holding
Like
the
Bandit's
angle,
dead.
waiting for the peaks, and they're going in their favor.
Yeah, one thing you just see.
So this is kind of what I expected, where FPL queens, they struggle a bit more on their attacks because they don't have strats. They're not a full team. They don't scrim. Whereas 1F, they got the strats, and that Claymore just saved the round for them because had Twist gotten both kills and survived, that's a 3 versus 3, right? So the strats on one shot is what keeps them in the game, but then the raw aim and decision making from FPL queens what keeps them going as well.
To get with Kilo right now, and they need to play together here. They don't need to go for a pinch. They just need to play together here and play the trade game, especially if it's going to go against a shotgun.
And now it's the 2v1 we spoke about. How does one shot
They
deal with the 2 versus
communicate.
1 against a
So
smoke?
Slash most likely definitely heard him sledge out underneath him right there. Ooh, and he just hits the
Oh,
shot.
that was
Oh.
close. That was close. There wouldn't have been a refrag off that either if Slash
Mhm.
got that. And that goes into what you were saying, Pengu, is how they play it together, because that sledge theoretically couldn't have done anything there had
No.
that trade happened.
I'm surprised they sent the sledge on the breach because Hibana had no way in besides the window, which we all know sucks because you're vaulting and stuff. If Sledge was the garage player, he could have sledged the soft wall and Hibana would have been the breach, and the roles are actually better that way. That was the only thing I noticed there. Because that's also why we typically see teams not make a rotation hole in catwalk, but just like the line of sight, so that if you got the wrong operator inside of garage and you cannot breach the soft wall, you gotta vault the window. Whereas if it was a
Which is
rotate,
terrible.
then Hibana could just vault or walk through that as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of those situations where it's just like Sledge was underneath, he was closer to the plat, the
Yeah.
bomb was down on plat, so he just ran there. But yeah, that's a good point that obviously they didn't think about in that situation. That luckily for them didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've been in situations myself where I'm like, okay, it's a soft wall, or like, I mean, arguably, Hibana could have maybe breached the hard wall as well. Like, if
That's
she had
what I
pellets
was going to
left.
say to that, but I don't know what Hibana pellets were left on her.
Yeah, I
as
didn't
well.
check
But
either.
The smarter play, obviously, there would have been what you said, but sometimes in the moment, you're just kind of going in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
think-
it's
yeah.
like it's like super small thing, and most of the time probably won't even matter as well. But it could in one of those situations one time.